So my reality is being conscious right now. When I do that, I mean, really do it, other things come in, like I feel a shift. There's a shift inside of me that happens when I truly do that. I get very distracted because I'm an artist and I don't really flow in a straight line. I wish I did. I'd probably make more money and get more done that way, but no, I'm not that way. I'm like a sun with a lot of rays coming off of me. And so I need to pull that in and make my reality a conscious reality where I'm conscious of the plant looking at me. I'm conscious of my dog thinking about me. I'm conscious, that's the reality is in the moment.
Welcome to the Biba frequency, home to conversations with consciousness. I'm Biba, your host. Hi folks, this is Biba from the Biba Frequency Podcast. Welcome back and welcome to those of you who are new. Today I'm interviewing an incredible lady called Kesara Dennett. Kesara is a intuitive artist. She's a psychic artist. She is the sister-in-law to Preston Dennett, who I interviewed prior to this, maybe 6-7 months ago. She's a contactee. She's an experiencer. She's very multi-dimensional. And she's very enlightened. She's extremely humble and tender and beautiful and kind and intelligent and emotional and sensitive. She has the most extraordinary gift of art, and to be able to really translate realms in art, so she can draw all the experiences that people have had, contactee experiences with ETs and UFOs, and bring them to life. She's done that for many years with her brother-in-law, Preston Dennett. She's sit in many UFO conferences and talk to people and interpret what they're saying through her art. She's also drawn her own experiences, and she is also a meditator, and she gets sent images by people and she connects to their eyes. And when she connects to their eyes, she goes into a meditation. And when she goes into a meditation, she connects to their soul essence. And she produces an image based on that. And so she's really got like a camera on the inside of your soul, so she can take a snippet of what it looks like in the universe of what and who you are. And that is a very rare gift. That's quite extraordinary. I'm deeply honored to have her on today. And she is somebody to me who's it's like if you found a hummingbird. And we don't have them in Ireland, but it's a very rare, beautiful thing. So to be in the presence of her is deeply moving for me. And I know you're going to feel what I feel. And I hope you enjoy this conversation. So I just ask that you like yourself and subscribe to yourself, because you are the creator of your reality. So I want you to begin to love who you are and what you are, and turn your attention in and find out the magnificence of your own soul. Enjoy the show. And Christine, I love you deeply and thank you. Christine, welcome to the Biba Frequency Podcast.
Thank you. I really looked forward to this for about a week. I really am happy to be here.
Yeah, and we're very happy to have you here. It's Casey Clare recommended you, actually, the lady with the crystals. You know Casey?
Yes, I do. She's amazing. Such a brilliant mind. She's amazing. And gosh, I've known her for years, actually. I don't know how many, but I've done some work for her. She understands what I've done. And I'm connecting to her again. But I really love how she's manifesting images through crystals. That's really amazing and fascinating to me.
Yeah, me, it is fascinating. And what I love is how she's really honored your work, and how you will you'll create an image and then you'll give a description, right?
Uh-huh.
And so
Yes.
it's a story, it's a whole story. So you get immersed not only in the image of the being or whatever you're presenting, but also there's a transmission.
There is the transmission. It's through meditation that I do this. I think she's referring to my meditations on photographs and things. But, you know, when you're working with a lot of people, you need to have a certain amount of intuition to understand what they want from you. And I'd say I'm about 85% understanding of what other people need from me. It depends on how they share themselves with me. Some of them are not as easily to access, but I'd find most people are easy to access. I think out of all the years that I've worked in each year, maybe 4 people were difficult to access. The rest of them really easy. And I've done probably 1,000 illustrations for others, beginning with the UFO art, working with my brother-in-law, Preston Dennett. He started becoming interested in UFOs after his mother passed away. He was a complete stone cold skeptic when I first met him. He used to laugh at me when I told him I saw ghosts and things like that. But after his mom passed away, he saw her. Wow. He saw her ghost, and it totally opened him up to a whole other world. He started interviewing people at his work, where he worked, which was a place that collected money, creditors, and they had experiences. He started talking to other people. My husband had experiences with UFOs. He even had an implant in his elbow right here. It was a long, like, tube thing. We eventually had it x-rayed, and it was organic. And it's starting to dissolve now. Mm. But yeah, I went on interviews with him and everything, and I'll share with you a picture.
Yeah, please. So how would you describe yourself personally, what it is you do?
I'm of service to people that need illustrations and art. Or I was at service. Now I'm just pretty much doing art for myself personally. I open up to other people when I feel that I can serve them. But I'm kind of semi-retired. I'm an extremely sensitive person. And when I do my artwork, it's on a very energetic level. Like, and I don't think I intentionally do this. It just happens. And I think with most artists that create from nothing, energy gets put into them. And the energy can trigger the viewer into certain frame of thought or experience or feelings. So in terms of describing myself, I think I'm mostly of service to the world. When I was young, I thought I was just an artist, but later I realized after working for Preston, I was more than that. So. Oh, here, I'll get my picture to share with you. So this illustration was for Preston when I was going to an interview with him. And why I picked this one is because of the experience that I had during the illustration. He was rearranging his home, and he had all his crystals, which was probably 50 or 60 crystals, on one wall. And the energy was so incredible that I felt like I drank 10 cups of coffee. I was just literally shivering. And this was his extraterrestrial that he had an experience with for, I think, 2 years. And it was a fully awake experience.
Gosh.
He said it was a difficult experience because it was physically, they altered him a lot. I think mostly through his back.
Altered him as in how did they alter him?
I'm not sure, but he talked about how much pain he had after abductions.
Wow.
And he said it was mostly through his back. So maybe they were working on him. I don't know. But his attitude towards them was not of fear or anger. He actually felt good towards them.
Wow.
So I tried to express that in the illustration.
Yeah, it's not invasive in any way. It's actually quite endearing. And there's like galaxies or universes in his eyes. There's something in his eyes.
Yeah, most of the people contactees that have experiences, that's the first focus, is the eyes. So let's see if I have another picture. Now this picture I did from just investigation through Preston. And it's more dramatic, so it's more magazine type illustration. But it's an actual event that happened in California, Topanga, and there was a flat area, or it's called a flat, where there's a lot of UFOs happening at the time.
Okay.
And this one in particular levitated a car, and Preston, my brother-in-law, has the video. I don't know how good it is now because it was on a little cassette tape from the 80s. He was working with a newspaper guy in Topanga.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, what an illustration. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And the UFOs in the back and everything.
Yeah, I tried to draw it as accurate as I could. And that's basically what happened, is it lifted the car up on the, if you listen to the recording, you can hear the guy saying, "It lifted my car up," and stuff. And the policemen were very neutral about the whole thing. And they go, okay. And they never said, "Oh, that's incredible." So, but that was a neat time in my life. Yeah. I saw UFOs up there.
You saw them?
Yeah, I saw them. A bright blue dot fell from the sky into the mountains. And some lights flashing through, which were UFOs. I've also gone hiking in there quite often, and we saw an airplane, which was a little like two-prop airplane, and it made this huge amount of noise. It was just like exaggerated noise of airplane sound, but there was a beam of light coming out the bottom of it. So my girlfriend, who was a contactee, was with me. She said, "That's a UFO. I don't know why they're making such a weird show of it all." You know?
So your whole life you've been involved in UFOs and contact and different races of beings, right?
Yeah.
Your whole life.
Paranormal. When I was young, a lot of stuff too. Before I even did all this work, I had experiences. I'm trying to write a book. I'm not a very good writer. So
Please do.
But yeah, I when I was really little, I had an experience with God. I was at my grandmother's, and she taught me a little night prayer, Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord to let my soul to keep. The Lord will guard me through the night and wake me in the morning light. And so when I said that, all of a sudden something came through the window. It was huge, invisible, but I felt it, and it pushed the walls to get inside. It was so big, the energy, and I could hear the walls creaking. My sister was stone cold to sleep. She always shared my room with me. And it said to me, without words, it just kind of implanted something. And it said, I'll always be with you. I'll never judge you. And you're never alone. I was probably about 5 or 6 years old when it happened. And I always know that. I always know it's there. And I wondered why it wouldn't judge me. Because later, when you're introduced to the Bible and things like that, it says, oh, God judges you and things like that. I went, I don't understand the Bible. I had a Catholic friend that took me to church a lot. But I realized later why it said, I'll never judge you, because our life path should not be judged by other people. It interferes with their progress and their growth. And that's basically what God was telling me. And later I found out that God's inside of me too, and not separated. I don't know when that happened for me, the realization. It was sometime when I was a kid, teenager, I think, that I realized that. And I was drawing a lot, and I drew my husband, actually, before I met him too. I drew my son before I met him. And my daughter, when she was born, she was like a miracle, because she grew inside of me. She was the first baby I had. And I thought, oh my God, this is so bizarre. It's like, there's something inside of me. I am pod woman,
Yeah.
And when she was born, it was like a miracle. A miracle. I just can't get over the feeling of it. I never thought you could experience something like that until you start meditating on the moment. Then I realized that there's miracles happening every single moment of my life. Just the mere fact that I can breathe in and out, that's amazing. Let me look at my pictures, because I have to think. Anyway.
Why do you have to think?
Because I'd go blank.
There's a location, and it's called the City of Luz, the City of Lights. Have you ever heard of that place? Have you ever been there?
No.
When Peter Maxwell Slattery sends his love to you, and Casey Clare send their love to you, like, you're really, really loved and respected. Like, these people talk about you, and it just comes from it's just pure
wow.
love. Yeah. Look at that.
That kind of reminds me of what you're talking about.
The City of Luz is a location I've been to a few times, and I didn't know it was called the City of Luz. I just called it the City of Lights. And I was taken there for a few years, and I was just in awe of it. And then after a few years, I decided to engage with it. And how do I get in? And it took me a while to figure that out. And when I was inside of this City of Lights, you're like the same energy as that place.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
It's interesting that you mention that, because my sister is a dancer and a choreographer, and one of her dancers went to a vision quest, and she I didn't know her that well. And she called me directly and said that a light being came to her and told her to give me a message that they were with me. So yeah, that was verification. I have light beings. I have 3. 1, 2, 3. They're like right here that watch over me and protect me. I think they're the ones that turned off my channel after my son passed away. They're opening it up again, or not necessarily they're doing it, I'm doing it, but they're helping me. So,
and
yeah.
And just for a moment, this city of lights, the city of Luz, people may experience it on DMT. A lot of the rabbis talk about it, the spiritual, multidimensional rabbis. But what it is I discovered the city of lights is an accumulation of light beings. It's not a city, it's light beings in a location. And these beings are exquisite, is the only word I can use. They're exquisite. And when I was aware that we were going to connect and you agreed to talk and come on, every time I think of you, every time I even think because you were in my awareness a lot for the last week or 2, or I think it's 2 weeks, and I would just get this overwhelming energy come through me that undoes me. It's like I'm undone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm like, how am I going to have this interview with this woman? How am I going to keep together? So the light being you, the city of Luz and you is like you're a visual representation and an energetic representation of what that place is. And I've been there many, many times, and I'm not saying I know all about it, but it's been revealed to me many times. And I got to go in and meet these light beings, and then they put something into my heart, and it was like, what is that? I didn't even understand any of this years ago. But the moment I connected to you, it was like, it's like, do you know when your granny wears a certain perfume and only that smell, she's the only one. And so it's very unique energy that you have. And you talk about these light beings and you talk about your son passed away. Do you mind, is it too personal to ask you what happened with your son?
He had liver failure.
Wow.
He was actually healing from it, but an accident at work put too much stress on his liver. He started bleeding internally. A shelf fell on his leg, and he started bleeding internally, and his liver said, no, I can't do this anymore. So he passed away from that. I had no intuition or no insight that this was happening to him. And later, when I look at the photographs and stuff, I could see it. But I swear he put a glamour over me. He wouldn't let me see, So as he was passing away, which took about a week, all this stuff happened to where I couldn't go there to be with him. Airlines had a massive step out, like all the air pilots left. They retired for some odd reason. It was on that week that I wanted to go over there, and there was no way I could get a ticket, an airplane ticket. There was like shutdowns everywhere. A cat came to my house starving, and just weird synchronistic things were happening during the time that he passed away. And the day that he passed, or maybe 2 hours before he even passed, a huge rainbow was out in front of my house, and there were swifts flying through it. Wow. And then I heard, Rainbow Bridge. There's a Rainbow Bridge. And he was a very, very special person. He came into this life to just put himself through extreme physical stuff. He was a heroin addict, an alcoholic, a musician. Wow. And when he passed away, a lot of people just totally felt so bad because he had so much charisma and he helped a lot of people during this whole time. He quit. He was drug-free and alcohol-free for 2 months before he passed away.
Gosh.
Yeah, and he started to recover. And he didn't realize he could do that until he did do it. But I think God said, it's time for you to go. He left behind my grandson, who was 7 at the time, and his wife and her daughter. And very, very hard for everybody. His son is very special. He does art like I do. He just absorbs it and then does it.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that.
That's so lovely that it was transferred.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when did you ever get to go? Like, what happened? What happened with the airlines and the cat and the catastrophic, like the strike and everything? Like, how
I saved the cat's life. It's still with me.
Is
I
it
can't let it inside because I'm allergic.
Gosh, you kept the cat.
Yeah. My bird's talking about it. But yeah. After that, I cried every day for a year, and I couldn't do anything else, and I quit working. And then this year, I'm starting to feel the grief go away and starting to integrate the transformation that occurs in me, because when people pass away, they affect everybody around you. And he definitely had a huge effect. And me being the mother, he affected me greatly. And he kept going to all my psychic friends and saying, tell her to stop being sad. I want to see her. You know, I guess grief stops the spirit from coming. I guess the energy's too low, maybe. I don't know. I know with spirits, they're vibrating at a higher frequency. So in order to connect with you, you have to reach, you have to meet at a certain frequency in order to connect. And I'm just starting to connect with him. So it took 2 years.
That's really, 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 really lovely that you're getting that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a gift too. I mean, to be able to see somebody come from my body, go through life, and then pass away, that's really an interesting experience, and it's really rewarding in terms of looking at life as an entirety. That's why going back to the moment is so beautiful, because that's where everything is. It's all there. My grandpa lived to be 99 years old, and he said right before he passed away, wow, it seems like there's no time. You know, all that 99 years was so short. That's because he was in the moment, you know. He was a cool man.
Was your grandfather, was he psychic? One of all your family have got abilities and gifts and different experiences, right? It's not just like your sister's a dancer. That's another form of creative expression. Like you're all artists and intuitives. Like you're an intuitive artist. You call yourself a psychic artist, but the intuition is just like whoomp. It's just turned up, isn't it, in your family?
My mother, she's very intuitive. I think my grandma had something, but she was prejudiced. I'm like a quarter Indian, and she didn't like that. She didn't like that. But see, she accepted my dad, who's Filipino. And that was a big one for her. When I was born, she accepted my dad. So it just took a baby to get her to change her mind. But I'm pretty sure she had some stuff going on with her. My dad definitely, he wouldn't admit it because he was an engineer, mechanical engineer. But he definitely had a lot of experiences, especially through his family. He used to talk about the Spanish side of his family and how they were all into reading cards, and my auntie was a witch and I was scared of her when I was a little boy and things like that. He wouldn't let me meditate. I wanted to meditate when I was a little girl. Wow. He wouldn't let me do it because he thought it was, that Spanish thing. But,
yeah, it's Spanish.
Yeah. Later, I took my DNA, found out I didn't have a drop of Spanish blood in me. Wow. So what the heck? What is he talking about? Or either the DNA was wrong. I don't know, but it was funny. They made a big deal out of their Spanish gypsy family. I even dreamt about him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a little girl. It was a recurring dream, extremely lucid. I was in a white room with no doors or windows, and a gypsy pirate, Spanish gypsy pirate, would be sitting in the corner looking at me, a man, smiling the whole time. And it didn't scare me. I was pretty used to him, actually. And I would wake up and tell my sister and then smile like him and scare her half to death. And I'd run after her and go, ah. But they came back later as witches, and they wanted me to come back. And I said, nope, I don't want anything to do with you. See you later. Bye. So they went and got in my husband's dreams. Gosh. And my daughter's dreams and my son's dreams. Whoa. And I told them, just tell them to go away. They're, trying to interfere with me.
Wow.
And eventually they did go away.
They're hopping around.
Oh, yeah. They were going since I released them and told them to go away, they went boing, 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 boing. And when my dad passed away, they all stood, the spirits, I saw them. They all stood around my bed and smiled and said, okay, we're leaving. Goodbye. So they left.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're really aware of your multi-dimensional being aspect. Like, you're living it out. There's your art, your story, your childhood. Even you showed me an image before we pressed record, and it was the picture that you painted of your son with the rainbow.
Yeah.
Before you had your son. And when your son left the body, it was the rainbow.
Yeah, I'll get the picture.
So really, it's a premonition he honored the art. He honored that by sending you that rainbow, right? He honored the fact that you saw him before he was in the body, and now he's out of the body. He's back to the rainbow.
Yeah. And it really set me back when I found the picture. I found it yesterday.
Wow. Really?
I looked at it and I went, oh my God. It's kind of like the movies where you foreshadow. That's when I realized that there's no time, really. It's all contained, and I call it contained within a soul source. A part of you that's multiple lives going on at the same time, past lives, future lives, all these things are happening all at once. And you have a source, which is your soul source. And it's connected to you, and it's connected to everybody else. And if you choose, you can go to each section or layers of that source and access it. Some people call it the Akashic planes. To me, it's a source that is yours on this earth plane. Some sources within your soul are multiple. And it's really important that you realize, you're on earth for a reason. And a lot of it's to enhance that source till eventually become this part of the divine universe. I'm not really understanding it much. It's kind of abstract. But when I think about it, I know it's there. I know the purpose that everybody has on Earth. And, they come through living Earth, going through the challenges and getting through them and everything like that. But ultimately, it all has to do with that one moment. And the more we can appreciate our moments, the higher levels we can reach. Takes practice. I don't allow it to happen all the time. It would be too much. It's overwhelming,
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. I love your explanation of what you're talking about, because you're talking about your soul source and it being on the inside, integrating it in, because I'm in the middle of developing a hypnotherapy that's based on, hypnotherapy is not even the right word, but I don't know another word for it. We're not going out anymore. There's different ways. We're going into your soul source, your heart soul essence. We're going in. And when you go deep within that and into the vastness of that, or like you just explained it, I'm thinking, gosh, she's just so eloquently explained what I'm trying to articulate with my own work, but I don't really have words for it. But like you, I know it's about going right in, because in there is your own, and then you can, what do we need to see? Or what do we want to access, right? And as you said, in this moment now, it contains all of it.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's really nice that you're doing that work.
Yeah.
I really am glad that you're doing it, because right now, I don't think I can do it anymore. I mean, I'll do it for certain people, but for you to find your path to do the same kind of thing where you're leading people into that source, that's really something this world really needs a lot of, because people, I don't think they realize how important they are. If they contribute their highest part of themselves, it really enhances everything around them, particularly the earth, because the earth is going through something right now. So if you work with the earth, work with yourself, work with everything on the earth, the plants, the animals, the dirt, the water, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and just don't even look at it individually, but all together, you're contributing if you can reach that part of yourself, right? So if you're leading people into that higher part of themselves through discovery and whatever, my art triggers people. Let's see if I find a picture.
Yeah, show us. The earth is a very important element. I would agree with you, because we're on the earth. It's a being, it's alive, it's everywhere. It's like, come on, like, let's, everything we need is on the inside. So when you know that, you just get to experience joy, a level of joy. Tell me something. When you meditate, like, where did this image come from in your meditation? So someone gave you a photo, or?
They gave me a photograph of themselves.
With what intention? How does it work? They gave you a photo.
I tell them I meditate on it, and I do a little bit of notes. At the beginning, I wrote notes to myself to try and generate an image because I don't necessarily see the image. And then I go to my database. I collect a lot of images and I draw a lot, so I have a database of layers. And I try to
Look at that.
represent what I saw in my meditation. So it's very symbolic. This one is the lines that you see from the eyes and the starlight in between the eyes describes that this person is connected to our solar system, and that the lines is the layers of the soul that come to the figure, which is the main soul figure that orchestrates and takes care of what's going on within it, all the lifetimes, all the activity, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And on your level, if you were using hypnosis, that would be different because you would be actually directly engaging with them instead of using symbolic representation, which I really like. I really like the fact that you're being more direct. I'm kind of symbolic and, flowery and artistic and
There's nothing flowery about it. It's like, whoa, here's what you look like on the inside. This is what it's like when you leave your body. This is like what you're presenting, the opportunity to not only see, because it's very important for a lot of people who need to see. Some people don't need to see, but a lot of people want evidence, right? So you're presenting them with, is that really on, did you see that on the inside of me? It's like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So then they have an opportunity to realize that actually it's in the unknown realms within themselves where the beauty is, right?
Yeah, exactly. It really is. People are so amazing. I mean, I have so many illustrations, and I sent you links to see them and read about them. And that's just, to me, every single person has something to teach us on all different levels,
Yeah.
You go to the store and you look at people and you think to yourself, that's a soul source right there, and the kids, they really get it. They totally know I'm looking at them, they'll be a big old smile, and whoa. They do that with my husband too. He's really special. He comes from the light.
You have to be with
him.
So let's go through a few more. Have any ET pictures there? I went onto Instagram, right, and I typed in the search Kesara art, and people give you credits, which is really nice these days that people still give credits, okay? And it was just a whole, I scrolled and I look, and there's the hybrid children, and I mean, it's the detail in your images. It's not a maybe. It's like looking at the eyes and the details, and it's actually. I mean, look at that.
That's my sister-in-law. She saw them, and I wanted to create a mood. She had this really loud shopping cart that she was going to use for sculpture in college, and she's like rolling it along, and it's going ching-ching, 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 really loud. And she walked past an elementary school. This was at nighttime. It was lit up, the patio, and there were two, she thought, kids in costumes because they were the size of children. And they had white heads. And what made her realize they were extraterrestrials is when they turned to look at her. They both turned in unison and they weren't touching the ground.
That's scary, isn't it? Like hover
Yeah.
boys. It's
she, she said she walked away really fast. Ching, 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 with her loud shopping cart. The dog didn't do anything. The dog was like, oh, okay, whatever. Walked by. But she had a lot of experiences too. She was very psychic, and she married my husband's brother. My husband comes from a family of 6. He's one of 6 siblings.
Gosh. Yeah. Can I ask you though, when you were younger, you had a missing time episode, didn't you?
Yes.
Like a big one.
I was a baby. I had my diapers on. I walked when I was 9 months old. My mom used to take me walking on this one sidewalk. And one day, my mother couldn't find me. And she called the police. She called all over the place. She called the neighbors, called my father, who was at the hospital. And they found me across a huge highway playing at a park, swinging back and forth in my diapers. And they couldn't figure out how I got there without somebody helping me. I don't remember any of it. I just remember swinging on the swing. But that was, I don't know how long that took for her to find me. Probably all day, I'd imagine. I can't ask her about it now. She's like 92 years old. She's like, no. But yeah, that happened to me. And in kindergarten, I would have to take naps, and it was in a big, huge room, and they'd made it all dark. And this man would come and get me. He had overalls. He was a white guy with bald head, probably 35, 36 years old, a little bit heavy set, big guy, sparkly blue eyes. And he would take me, and I don't remember what happened after that. I just remember that from that point, he would take me. And I used to go to my mom and say I'm sick and make myself sick. I knew how to become sick and not want to go because it was weird. I didn't like it. And to this day, when I remember it, I remember my body just, I feel energized. I feel every single nerve's on fire when I think about it. But I don't remember what happened, and I don't want to.
Good call. Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah.
Leave it
I don't
alone.
remember it. But I don't think he was a bad man. You know, I don't get that sense that he was bad. So I went to one of my psychics and asked him if I got molested. And he said, no, I don't get that. I don't think you got molested. So it could have been an extraterrestrial event, maybe. I know I have it embedded, all the ET stuff. So at least my contactee friend says so.
Yeah.
So,
because couldn't he have been an ET pretending to be a man, like, you know, to you, so he didn't look scary? Like, they can present themselves in any way they want, can't they?
Yeah. I don't know. I saw him as the janitor or some man, you know. But he had really twinkly eyes. That's what made me, I remember his face and everything. I should draw him.
Or not.
Or not. Who knows?
Not if your cells are on fire. But what's interesting is you remember you were in kindergarten, and decades later, you remember his sparkly blue eyes. So
oh, yeah.
It's an absolute experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an absolute experience.
Of course.
I was born, when I was born with something, because I had certain knowledge. So I wasn't totally innocent. There were some aspects of my life where it was completely, I'm so stupid, but I know things, and I knew things when I was little. Like, my dad's really intense. He's like this Filipino Visayan person, and his eyes would turn red when he'd get mad. I'd see him turn red. And I told him, I said, and I was really matter of fact. And I remember this like it happened yesterday. Dad, you got to stop getting angry with me. I don't like it. And he stopped after that. I was really young. I was probably 6 years old. A lot of stuff happened at 6. Yeah. I used to draw dragons in water with finger paints.
Wow.
And I went to a Mormon school, and I was a little brown girl, and they separated me from the rest of the people. I thought it was really special because I could play with blocks and everybody else could go over there. So yeah, but I kind of freaked them out. I freaked my grandma out too. On my mom's side. My mom's white, my dad's Filipino.
So why did the Mormons separate you from the other kids?
I think my ability to draw dragons in water with finger paints and
too much.
They're Mormon. Yeah, that's when the man used to come and get me too. Funny time. I didn't really get bad vibes from the whole experience until later. I figured out what was going on, segregation, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't need to know back then anyway.
No.
It was cool.
No, I just stuck with my happy little girl feelings.
Do you know that painting behind you that you painted? There's so many faces coming through that painting. So you're chatting away, and at the same time, I'm aware that it's a multidimensional painting, and there are many faces that keep popping out to me, and I'm like, wow. I mean, okay.
This is the painting I put behind me when I do interviews.
It's alive.
Yeah, I love it. I will not let go of this painting. This is my favorite.
It's beautiful.
It's flowy. It reminds me of when you stand on the beach and you watch the water come and go. That's what it reminds me of.
Gosh, and I can see a bird being in there. It's funny, isn't it, what we see in what we all see, so many different things.
Oh, you're probably getting triggered.
Yeah. Definitely getting triggered. But in the best way possible.
Oh, good.
When you were born and you had your own experiences, and especially the paranormal as well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? When you're aware that there's an unseen realm that's very active, even though there's no bodies. There's definitely people in here, but there's no bodies. And you kind of think you're going crazy, and then you get older and watch a few, I don't know, well, you might not watch horror movies. I certainly did. And I just thought, I was in the car with my daughter today, and I was a Christian for a while. I was a good Christian girl just for a few years. It was part of my journey. And so she was brought up Christian based, and just for a few years. And she said to me in the car today, she said, Mom, I went downstairs the other night and it was dark. It was dark, like the lights weren't on. So I just said to all the aliens, you do not have permission to be in my reality right now. She said, Mom, I said it because I was scared, right? And I said, no, I know. She said, so, you don't have permission to be in my reality last night, to all the ETs and aliens that think they can come here. And I said, but isn't it interesting that you used to say that to ghosts and spirits, and now it's ETs? Now you don't care about ghosts and spirits.
Well, good for her. She's standing her ground.
Totally. She's like you. She came in and was like, I don't like your attitude. I don't like how you talk to me. Don't talk to me like that. Just like 4, 5. It's like, okay, I got that. I get that. But based on your story and the experiences that you had, and then so you've had your own, so you understand. You see, when you went to all those jobs with your brother-in-law Preston, and he was getting the stories, and you were illustrating these people's experiences. So when you were doing the art, you really, really understood what they were seeing, weren't you? You could really.
Well, again, I put myself out of it. I'm like a Richter scale. I just allow the image to come through. I don't put myself in it as much as possible. A lot of artists have trouble with that. But for me, I try to be really, I try to honor the person that is expressing the story, and I try to express it. And it comes through, the extraterrestrials will come through. They totally lock in when they realize that you're involved with this contactee and you're trying to help them express their story. So a lot of my drawings do have the energy in it, and I don't think it's me that's doing it. I think the extraterrestrials can do that too. They can do amazing things. I'm sure they can embed energy into pictures and stuff.
It's like that painting behind you, for example.
Yeah, this is different.
This is different.
I don't think it's extraterrestrial.
No,
but I don't know.
It's not, but I'm seeing a particular being, and it's just looking at me, and I'm like, okay, so let's get on with the interview. Have you got something to say? Because it's all love. You see, when you are coming from a place of love, I think, don't you? For me, I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid of any of it, really. And if I go into fear, I have to really monitor that. I have to go, no, if I'm just authentically myself, and I know my soul source, then I will be able to see what's on that, in that paradigm, in that I'm not functioning from fear. So that's just not showing up, because I'm not functioning. I'm not in that realm, and I'm not painting that. But when you were going to these, did you go to people's houses and listen to their stories and just draw as they were talking?
Yes, I did.
That's incredible. What a service. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about going to Barbara Lamb's house. I'll get her picture up.
So for those of you who don't know who Barbara Lamb is one of the original, really, ET regression hypnotherapists. She's very world-renowned hypnotherapist for ET contact regression.
Yeah, she invited people over to share their experiences. And she has, I think, one of the largest collection of extraterrestrial pictures and things of that nature, and actual research of contactees. When I went there, the first time I went there, there was a newspaper there. I guess they were interviewing all the contactees, and I sat down and I started illustrating, and this one woman came to me and described reptilian. And I have no judgment of reptilians at all. I do not judge them. I don't judge people that see them and have relationships with them. I think that's their experience, and I'm very, open to it. And the reptilians that I've connected with, they're not bad. They're not bad. So most of the people that I illustrate concerning reptilians, it's all extremely unique and not negative.
Wow.
Well, I'll go back to this woman. Her name is Jujuli, I think that's her extraterrestrial name. She described the reptilian to me, and I'm sorry I don't have a picture. I'll send you one. And then after I finished it, she started crying. And she was the first. After a long line of illustrations illustrating for contactees, they all reacted strongly. Wow. And I was very surprised by this. I didn't know it was such a powerful thing to be triggered from a drawing, you know. And then I realized, well, they never let you take their picture. You know, they never. I'm the only one that kind of brings them here into the reality, you know, where they can actually see it. And I didn't realize, God, I had a lot of people like turn white, almost pass out after I finished drawing their drawings and stuff.
Gosh.
Really interesting experience. Wow. I mean, I've talked to people that are just these regular people that, you know, housewives. You would never dream that they got abducted or were contactees. There's no way of knowing until they come up and start telling you their stories. And that was the most wonderful thing about going to all the conventions, is actually talking to people. You know, people have these extraordinary visitations by extraterrestrials that are very physical. And wow, I won't allow it to happen. No, I can't handle the energy. It's too much. I'm not afraid. It's just their energy is extremely big and foreign and static sometimes. It's hard for me to take. So that's why my light beings are here. I have 3 light beings, you know. They sit there and they monitor who can come and see me. And wow. And because they're basically know how much I can take, you know, in this little human body kind of thing, you know, until I become a guru or some yogi, you know. But I'm 69 years old. I want to just be me and not have to go through all this stuff to allow more experience, you know.
Well, I think you've gone through enough stuff to have some experiences in this life.
Yeah,
exactly. And hold on, I just had a thought. What is it? Rewind. What was it? So they're the guardians of the galaxy. These light beings are guarding the galaxy, which is you. And you made a deal saying, do not come. So you actually have set an intention that don't come near me.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a very good thing for people to hear, that they have that power. Because I interviewed Yvonne Smith, who's also, like Barbara Lamb, she's a regression therapist for 33 years with ET contact in America. And she said, I wish they could get their power. Some people, I think you have to really just believe in that, right?
Yeah, I think so. On some level, they allow this thing to happen. Just like any challenge in Earth life, you got to overcome it. So understanding the beginning and the end of the challenge is what's valuable. Reaching the end of the challenge has to do with how much willingness you are to accept what's happening to you and going beyond that. Maybe some people get stuck, you know, they get stuck. So like you brought up fear. Fear is really interesting because it affects our nature as a human being, you know. We naturally want to survive. And if something comes along that's not quite physical, extraterrestrials do that a lot. They're not very physical or from this earth. It's going to trigger that natural tendency to survive. So to understand the rules, laws of the universe. You have the power to say no. You have the power to say, whatever I decided on a soul level, an agreement with you to interact, I'm taking it back because it's just too much for me right now. So please don't come to me on that level. And I know a lot of people that have actually controlled their experiences by doing that. My girlfriend, my contactee girlfriend, she taught people how to do that.
Really? And, wow, what a
skill. Yeah, like your meditation could come in really handy. On a soul level, you go back into that soul level and you say, okay, this is what's allowed in my human earth body and experience. You can come and see me, but you can't take me on your ship and change me all up, change my energy bodies and my DNA and all of that, no.
Yeah, and I want my babies back.
Yeah.
Babies. Yeah, like the amount of babies that people have, and they get very emotional when they can't be with these children, these hybrid children, because they live in a different frequency realm, a different world. They find that very emotional, don't they? That must be very hard.
Yeah. The skeptic in me has analyzed the pathology. That's really interesting. The mind can get in the way of true experience. So the trick is to remove the mind and allow the pure consciousness to come through. If you can do that in your hypnosis, that would be a gift. That would be a beautiful, beautiful gift. That's why I always tell people, find your path, find your, what Preston's girlfriend always talks about, your higher consciousness, and allow it to come through and be the leader of your path, So that's where you really, my dog's licking my feet. Really
great dog. My cat does not lick my feet. Your dog loves you.
Yes, she does. She's a good girl.
You drew an image of the little blue guys, the little blue beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ones from Communion, the movie Communion.
Yeah. That a lot of people see them. My personal experience was with a dwarf, a little blue, wrinkly dwarf. And unfortunately, I didn't put that picture in, but I'll send it to you. Like a note, dwarf.
Yeah, it's the same people that are in Communion, the little blue guys.
Yeah. They came to me when I was a kid. I was living in California, probably 9 years old. And they came for 2 weeks every day, every night. I was fully awake. They put glowy wires or something into my feet, looked at me, didn't say a word, just telepathically said, we're here to take your memories, go to sleep. And this happened every day for 2 weeks. And then after that, my sister and I went out to our driveway and started crying and saying, come back. My sister doesn't remember any of it. So she's like, really? That happened? But yeah, that happened, man. That really did. And I don't remember anything, nothing. But later when I started working with all the contactees and everything, I had weird dreams. Just downloads. I felt them downloading information into me. all the extraterrestrials. I would come out of my meditations with headaches and stuff. And then they just stopped doing it after a week. So I think it was for all the drawings I was going to do in the future. But that was an interesting experience. That was when I was little. Then later I saw an ET with my girlfriend, and a ship flying over, and the bushes were shaking, and then the little ET peeked out from behind the bush. It was actually physically there.
Wow.
And she could handle it. She could handle all of that stuff. Me, I'm like, okay, I don't want that every day. But she would have all sorts of experiences. She even photographed stuff that was happening to her, energy lines coming out of statues and stuff like that.
Wow.
That's really physical. I like to work more on a etheric level. So.
And your art is so etheric. Like I have your actual, I just want to share my screen for a moment, if you don't mind. I have your page here, okay? And it's as etheric as it gets. So, for example, do you see that in your meditation when you go in, and is that what presents itself?
No, I don't see that. I see it as I'm working.
As you're working?
Yeah, but before I feel it, it's more of a feeling. I'm clairsentient.
Okay.
So I can sit on an antique chair and pretty much get what happened to that chair. Okay. It's pretty creepy.
Is it? Is it creepy when you're on an antique chair? I have a few antique chairs, and my daughter's like, "Are you sure about them, Mom?" I'm like, "Yeah, the beings are fine. They're not interfering." There's faces within faces here. They're just, I can't zoom in, but I mean,
yeah,
this stuff is magnificent.
The woman was magnificent. She's very special. Her name's Leonie. She teaches children how to see with their higher stuff. So what she does is she takes away their sight and their hearing, and then she gives them tasks to do. I don't know how she does it, but they're able to see and hear everything around them without any physical abilities to see and hear. She's a really special woman.
That's the kind of teacher you want your kids to go to, isn't it? Somebody who can. There's a documentary about that, and Caroline Corey visits a place where the woman, it could be the same lady, but she says that when you put the blindfolds on the children, she trains them to know that their consciousness is seeing everything before the eyes are seeing it. So you're already able to read the book. You don't need your eyes to read the book because your consciousness can see it. And these kids are reading with blindfolds on, word for word.
Oh my gosh.
It's the same what your friend is doing, and that's the kind of education that this world needs. It's connecting to the telepathy and, as you said, expanding the consciousness, becoming aware of, as you said, no mind, and just allowing the your consciousness to have that experience. You spoke about judgment, right? Before we logged on, and the influence it has on humans.
Yeah. No judgment.
No judgment.
Yeah, when I met God as a child, I was 7 years old, and my grandma taught me the evening prayer. Her evening prayer, she said, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. The Lord will guard me through the night and wake me in the morning light. And so when I did it for the first time, sure enough, God came through the window, got really huge energy. It was so big, it was pushing the walls. You could hear the walls creaking. And it said to me, without words, just this understanding, that I'd always be with you. I'll never judge you. And you're never alone. And it's been with me ever since. And I didn't understand the judging part, because when I was growing up, I started learning about the Bible. I had a Catholic friend, and I didn't understand it because it said God judges you. But in my understanding and introduction with God, it said it wouldn't judge me. And later I realized the value of that judgment stifles the soul and the spirit, and that God, who is within me and outside, doesn't interfere with what I do in life, because it's my path to learn and expand as a soul.
What an amazing lesson.
Yeah, it's been really comforting, because sometimes life can get really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it has a habit of doing that. There's one image I saw here, and that's a dragon, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Look at the galaxy, the moving galaxy in the heart area.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The colors.
The woman that I did this for didn't quite understand it. She was kind of set back from it.
Was she?
Yeah. But I saw dragon. She was definitely hooked into a cosmic dragon of some sort.
Too much information for her. Isn't it interesting how her soul sent her to you, and then your soul revealed to her what's happening, and she just can't handle it? See, sometimes I think people, it has to be really, especially for me with hypnosis, you have to, why are you coming? Like, what is it? Is it just curiosity? Is it window shopping? Is it testing the waters? Or are you ready to step into all that you actually already are and know that everything's already done? And so life is going to go upside down to become right side up, and it's going to turn up a lot of stuff, because in order for you to really embody and embrace all that you are, it's going to shake a lot of stuff up, and shaking stuff up hurts, and it's painful, and it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So
I think your intuition, your higher intuition, guides you on what to do with these people.
Yeah.
So the primary function of what you achieve with people is a direct thing. So what's your primary function?
Is that a question?
Yes.
My primary function is this. My primary function is to reflect to you the beauty of your own soul.
Okay. So
to reflect that back to you.
That's the path that you take with guiding these people, then, is you eliminate whatever is obstructing that path, maybe. Or they eliminate it, basically.
Yeah, you see it. You see it. You see the obstacles. There's this anyway. I'm going to put it in later, but it's a deer, and he's flying over the cosmos. He's a celestial deer, and look at all these images. These are your etheric images, but then you've got all of the actual hand-drawn illustrations, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are they on this as well, on this extraterrestrialsblog.com that I'm going to share all your links?
No.
They're not. Interesting.
The drawings are on Kesara.org.
Yeah.
most of the drawings that I've done for the UFO community.
Look at all of these. You must spend your whole time doing these. There's so many.
I did. It was a lot. I was working on 3 people a day.
That is a lot.
Yeah. So many people. Amazing.
Amazing. And can I ask you, with where you are in your life now and your awareness, where your awareness is, where are you at with all of your experiences, all of the work that you've done, your understanding that we are in like spaghetti, realms within realms within realms are around us and within us.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about your understanding of reality, if you can. Your reality.
My reality right now is to be really simple. So I want to really understand my moments, go into a frame of mind where I'm anchored into the moment and I'm not being pulled from one point to another in my mind. When I concentrate on my reality, it's in that moment that I have an experience. I'm really working hard on becoming very conscious right now. But on a certain level that is not really paying attention to cleaning the dishes or anything like that. You know, I'm more being open to being conscious rather than just one step at a time and being mechanical. So my reality is being conscious right now. When I do that, I mean, really do it, other things come in, you know, like I feel a shift. There's a shift inside of me that happens when I truly do that. I get very distracted because I'm an artist and I don't really flow in a straight line. I wish I did. I'd probably make more money and get more done that way, but no, I'm not that way. I'm like a sun with a lot of rays coming off of me. And so I need to pull that in and make my reality a conscious reality where I'm conscious of the plant looking at me. I'm conscious of my dog thinking about me. I'm conscious, you know, that's the reality is in the moment. Hard to explain.
It's emotional, isn't it, when you get to be in the moment and be aware that what your dog's thinking or what just the responses from this world, how we are responding and observing.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about and I'm working on that too. And I have, like you, so much going on in my mind, things, ideas, and some days it's like a dry spell and I could be worried about everything, only to realize that you don't need to worry about anything. Just stop the habits of that. So I'll meditate. And when you meditate, do you meditate do you meditate still? Like, do you have a practice of that?
Yeah, I do. I meditate every day. I try to do it twice a day, but sometimes it's just busy, you know. Life gets busy. You have to take care of stuff. But I do, to the least, sit down and pay attention to my breath for about 5 minutes. And when you do that, you breathe in, you breathe out. It seems really boring, but if you pay attention to what's happening on every single breath, you'll notice that there's something in between all that activity. And it's a moment of complete and utter stillness. And you can integrate that moment into your daily life while you're doing things. And this is what I learned in Buddhism. It's called Sita, mindfulness. And it's a wonderful tool to use if you want to separate yourself from what's going on around you, because the body and the mind just absorb everything and react to everything. But when you're in Sita meditation, you're not doing that. You're separated from it. So you're able to really see what's going on, like the truth. You know, you do that. My son came through his spirit to me, and he said, at this point in your life, you no longer have to worry. And that was the most amazing thing that he said to me, because I worry all the time. And I went, okay, I'm going to accept that. Okay. At this point in my life, I'm not going to worry. I no longer have to worry. And it changed my consciousness. The possibilities became huge. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You can go through life without worry. Whoa, what am I going to do? Let's say this thing happened with my husband and he's like, has a stomach ache and he can't get better. Okay, I'll worry about it, or I won't worry about it, and I'll just see his energy body go into his stomach. And if he allows me, this is a big thing, if they allow you, go in there and help him on an energetic level. Because, God, there's so many times I've wanted to just say, here, take this juice or whatever, you know, and they won't do it. So all you can do is pray or do the energy thing, right? But you can't do it when you're worrying.
No.
You have to say to yourself, I no longer have to worry. Then you're allowed to do the real work. You know what I mean? That was something my son gave me. Thank you. It's amazing. The manifestation occurs and all of that. It's really cool.
It's actually it's so big that it changes realms. It changes your inner world completely. And then all things, when there's no doubt and there's no worry, then you realize that actually life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you can see it. The incoherence isn't there anymore. It's like the focus is just sharp. It's like, oh my gosh, I get to be in the moment. I get to enjoy my life because I'm not worrying about, will I have enough for whatever those worries are. That we all pick up this. I did a meditation recently, and I saw how doubt, same as worry really, how it creates, what it creates in the field of your awareness. I could really see it, and I just thought, whoa, I was aware of it, but I didn't see it like that. When the doubt comes and the worry comes, it puts like a blanket over all possibilities.
Yeah.
All the beauty, all the love.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Like, yeah, your son is like, I love your son. I'm like, yeah, that's the message.
He'll come to you. He does a lot of work on the other side from my friends and what they say. He mostly comes to me just to be the son, you know, the comforting boy.
Yeah.
But for other people, they say that he's over there doing a lot of work, higher work. And I believe it.
Well, you know it. You don't even, it's not about belief, is it? You just know. You know your son.
Yeah.
You created that image before he ever showed up. And And as you said, time, there's no time or place or bodies. It's just now in this moment. He's in the moment doing his own thing as you are and I am.
Yeah. Yeah. There, at some point, I think when you are ready to transition from life to life, you realize what reality is. Like for me, I'm still the physical being, so I'm going to perceive my reality on a physical level. As long as I practice my meditations, then every once in a while I'll see beyond that. But my understanding intellectually and just my experiences know for a fact that reality isn't what we think it is. You know? It's something that's malleable. You can malleable. Whenever I need money, it always comes to me. Whenever I need, something, it's there. And that's what tells me it's malleable, It's there to work with. And I think when you're living as a human being on Earth, that's the lesson, your actions and the things that you do and the accumulation of certain things manifests. And that's very energetic and part of Earth. It's interesting, I think.
Very, 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 very interesting. It's very interesting talking to you. I'm really humbled talking to you. You're just, I feel something. There's just something. It's something so sacred about you. And are you, it's like you're not really from here, but you're here. You're just tapping in and going, hey, I'm actually real, like a human. Like you're like you're like one of your ethereal masterpieces. You're like one of those, you're like one of the colors and the eyes and the crystals and the iridescent. It's like you're that, but you're in a body. But it's not just that you're that. You actually release a very sacred truth.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Well, I try to be a really good person. That's really important to me. Thank you.
I don't think you have to try too hard to be a good person. I think it's probably innate, one of your natural innate abilities.
I totally know I'm not from here because I'm allergic to everything. So
really, yeah, exactly. So are you still open for people who contactees who are looking to have their experience in a visual representation, or people who send you a photograph? Are you still open to that?
Yeah, I don't work as much, but yeah, they can talk to me. Some people I can work with, some people I can't. It's hard because near the end, I couldn't connect with people at all. So now I'm slowly connecting again. So yeah, have them contact me, and if things work out, it works out, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I usually charge for the time that I spend with them, and I'm really not very expensive. Wow. And I've been thinking about giving away something once a month. I have to advertise it, and that would probably be a nice thing to do. On some level, I would love to just work for free and accept donations, but people don't donate, and I can't work without an exchange. So I just decided to deal with the money, because at the beginning I did do that. I wanted to do that. That's what I really want to do. But it doesn't work that way. And people don't value something that's free if they're not exchanging energy. You know what I mean?
I do indeed, I do.
Yeah. But right now, I trust that the universe will send me the right people, and the ones that don't work, well, that's okay.
That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people that just didn't like what I did for them, and they got really upset. And I just told them that's fine. You just have to pay me for my time.
Yeah.
So, and it's always upfront with me.
Good.
And I learned the hard way that I had to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
first.
Oh,
I know.
God.
I know.
It pulled at me, but I love people so much. I want to interact with them, It's one of those physical things that we live in now in society. I wish it wasn't like that. I really don't. I see it in a different way, that maybe on another planet or in another time in the future.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Can I just actually, you have an image and it's called the Future, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a picture of a beautiful garden and there's UFOs, because I had a dream, and in the dream there was like the sky was filled with spacecrafts, but they were all beautiful. They were all different, and then there was this mothership, and then I saw that and I went, whoa, it's just too big. It's like I can handle all the retro looking ones, but this is like a city, a floating city. And it came, and all my friends were in the kitchen, and I was looking out this window, and it came in. And as it came in, it had to go on its side to go through the house. But as it went through my house, I woke up and my bed was vibrating. It went through the bed.
Oh.
Yeah. And when I saw your image, I thought, that's it. That's like what I saw, which is the collection of UFOs in the sky, which is,
let's see.
I have yeah, you think that they're going to start showing up in a much bigger way. Well, I really do think that too. I've had many dreams of spacecrafts and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just started painting them. I have a bunch of them now. I think I have 5 paintings.
Wow, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Your art is
and
stunning.
After I painted this, I got a visitation.
Really?
3 UFOs came. I posted it on Facebook. I'll have to find the pictures, give it to you.
What was the visit like? Tell me. Why did they visit you?
I don't know. I was told that they couldn't because the solar flares were just too intense. And they couldn't fly around in space. The message I got in my intuition was, we're not in space, we're in Earth. And that's why people are seeing UFOs right now. There's other things too, like government, but on your level, in terms of a mothership and a bunch of little ships, I would be so curious as the timeline of that dream, if it's just a dream or if there's an actual future coming, and if there was any indication of time in there of when it would happen.
Oh,
I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. I just went, I just want to paint them, I think it's a good thing to do. I have them right here. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I'll just have to send them to you. They're all wrapped up.
Yeah, do, because I can, or if you have a picture, I'll just pop them into this conversation. So,
okay.
How do you think we're doing? Do you think that we've covered some nice ground there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really glad to have known you. I'm really glad to connect with you.
Yeah.
God, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. You're really special.
It's lovely to have connected with you too. I'm really, really glad that I could find you and you agreed, and Casey put me on to you, and yeah, it's just been a real this whole 2 weeks leading up to talking to you has been my heart's just very open around you. It's like your energy, your frequency, your unique soul expression dissolves what isn't me. I get to be more of myself, thinking of you,
Yeah.
just the thought of you. And have you ever thought, just on a different note, doing meditations online? Is that like totally out of your comfort zone or out of your interest?
Oh, just like having somebody meditate with me? Is that what
No,
you're
like groups,
thinking?
whether you do, yeah, just like logging on and doing group meditations.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I've been doing it for so long. It's like trying to teach somebody how to paint when I just comes natural. I don't know. I could try.
It's your energy. It's your energy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you don't have to teach. You just have to be yourself. There's nothing to teach. Just keep. When you said to me, and you go and you meditate, and then you find the gap in between, as you were speaking, I was there. And you said, but you do this because when you were speaking, I was brought into that place. You
Oh,
carry,
okay.
you carry the resonance of it. So it's just a natural ability that you have. I don't know why I'm telling you this on a live conversation, but yeah, I think it'd be nice. If you ever wanted
Yeah,
to add
I
something to the
I'm
pot.
gonna I'm gonna consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really interesting because I try to promote that too in other people.
Hmm.
Engage.
Yeah.
That's something I need to do. That's the message you're giving me.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's an
engage
it's an
myself.
option.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've got so
thank you.
much. Yeah, it's just because you've got so much beautiful, actual, authentic wisdom that you just don't hear it enough. And when someone like you comes along and you start talking and you're emanating what you're saying, you're not just saying it, but you're emanating what you're saying. Your soul is talking. That's change. That changes things up for people. And so, yeah.
Okay. Wow. I never really looked at it that way.
Hmm.
I'm gonna make a note.
That's a really good idea. You get your notebook out and
That's what's happening today. Opening up, engaging. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for
You're
everything.
the vehicle. Thanks. I
So
don't know if many people are like you. I don't know if they grasp what I'm putting out, but
I think so. Of course they do. Yeah.
okay.
As you know, your guardians of the galaxy will send out your signal, and those who will need to be activated will hear your signal and find you. They just find you. People say to me, I was watching Dolores Cannon and you popped up, and I just thinking, what does that even? That's how it doesn't make any sense. I have this tiny little YouTube channel. I put up a few videos. I'm really, really very, very minimal, little bit of an explanation so you see how I feel. And I know it's just about you have to put something out there, just even something, because that signal will meet that signal, and then there's an activation, and then the next one and the next one and the next one. That's kind of how I see it, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I could do that for others, I would.
Yeah, well, you do.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to
meditate on that.
Yeah, meditate on that.
well, what I'll do is I'll add your details obviously in the description, and people can reach out to you and also look at your experiences and your art and read all about you and all of those beautiful things. So thank you for engaging and being so transparent here today. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
It's a real honor. Thank you.